We are back. We are in regular season mode, and hockey is minutes away, days away, moments, hours for some. It is almost hockey time. It's time to get ourselves back on the broadcast, back on the hockey TV, and drop that puck. Hockey's coming at you, and the Dan K Show is covering it right now. All right, hockey fans, let's get right into it. No time to waste. Hockey has arrived, and it is hockey time, and that's thing number one. Hockey time across the country. The Florida division is going to be getting underway this weekend. There's going to be hockey aplenty. We got a lot to talk about. Thing number two, Dan K made a way too early prediction involving the Charlotte Rush last weekend, and the Charlotte Rush just went into a little bit of a scrimmage weekend with two foes down in the Southeast and absolutely dominated. Watch out for the wagon that is the Charlotte Rush. Thing number three, I can't hold it in. I can't hold in the excitement. NCDC season coming at you September 23rd, first puck drop. We got ourselves two divisions this year, the Dan K dream. I've been dreaming about two divisions in this NCDC for years. It feels like decades, I almost said, but it's not been around for that long, so I'd be lying if I told you that. The South and the North, we're going to talk NCDC North on this week's show, but before that, I got to introduce a man who, Lucas, you just posted something, and I'm going to post it to Twitter as well, a great video 5 years ago today, the first ever Dan K show, and I said that I had called everyone, and you were my last resort, and I knew you were the guy for the job at that point. That was a lie, Lucas. You are my first choice, my only choice, and I say that now because it's been 5 years, and it'd be weird if I didn't. Lucas Jones, welcome to the show. What's going on?
Well, the good news, Dan, is I'm very easy to appease. I will take all of your surface-level compliments. I will take all of your pandering. At this stage of the game, it just sort of washes over me like a wave at the beach, which is a place I wish I still was. But if there's one place I'd rather be than the beach, it's a hockey rink. And there's a lot of hockey rinks in our future. That's
exactly right. And if they could play hockey at the beach, we would totally be in for that as well. A little synthetic ice right on the beach, waterside. I'll jump in the water to cool off in the intermissions. But I can't cool off anymore because we got to talk some NCDC, Lucas. And I want to jump right into things. Yeah, two divisions this year. Can you, first of all, obviously it's already going to be a one-of-a-kind season, just kind of the making this all work in the new normal as we've all come to know it here, COVID-19, the pandemic. But you talk about the divisional structure. What do you think what's your most intriguing part of this new South-North structure in the NCDC? What are you looking most forward to?
Well, I think one of the things that eliminates is a complaint that we've heard from some people, and every coach will tell you that, oh, the bus doesn't matter. The boys wake the legs up, the boys get going. But we've all been on those car rides. I mean, you should have seen Dan and I when we got out of the car just going to Detroit, a little 9-hour drive. We looked like two 80-year-old men just getting up from their 6 a.m. breakfast to get back in the car. Anybody will tell you that those bus rides are killer. And I think one of the things that I'm most excited with these divisions is you're regionalizing travel. And I think this is going to be not necessarily a leveling factor, but I think it's going to really bring out the best in these teams. You know, you've obviously got a team in Maine in the Twin City Thunder. You've got you got the Northern Cyclones in New Hampshire. And then with the addition of the Philadelphia team, there was a little bit of a worry that a team having to go from Philadelphia to Maine or Maine down to Philadelphia, making that huge trek, that almost like 9-10 hour drive, that it was going to negatively affect some of these teams and players. But with the regionalization, I think it cuts some of that out. We've seen in other sports how the lack of, extensive travel has helped in some cases. Some players have reported it's thrown them off their game a little bit to not have these travel days. But these kids will get used to it, and I think they'll start reaping the benefits a little bit more often than they'll complain about maybe some of the drawbacks.
Well, the biggest thing, Lucas, with the lack of travel is it gives you more time to train. It gives you more time to work with these guys in the weight room. It gives you more time off the ice to work on the academic side of the game as well. I think it's going to be a big perk for a lot of these NCDC skaters. And I mean, one big thing for me that I look at in this North-South setup, number one, it creates an onus on the localized rivalry. And I think that rivalry is something that the NCDC, you know, we started getting there. You felt that like New York Jets, New England Patriots rivalry between like IHC and the Jersey Hitmen year in and year out, with just the arms race that it was between these two sides. Then the Junior Bruins jumped in and started to break things up there. And you're really, over the years, you're starting to see a lot of the battles, but I think now it becomes territorial, right? You really look at it, you're going to play teams in your area a lot more often. There's going to be a lot more weight between a Northern Cyclones, New Hampshire Junior Monarchs game than there was in the past. And it's last season, Lucas, we had 10 teams in play for 8 spots for the postseason up until the very final second ticked off the clock. Anybody's game, anybody could have been in it. Now this year, it just creates another layer to things, you know, and the more competition you can put in, the more people you can put in play. Look at what's happened in baseball. Look at what's happened in hockey. Look at what's happened in basketball this year at the professional level. More arms in play, more players in play, more teams with an opportunity to compete. It makes the product better. It brings the anchor off the lower side of it when the team's having a down year, or the team's got the young squad and they're building for next season or the future. Everybody's in it, man. Everybody's going to be competing. And this is going to be a one-of-a-kind season for the NCDC. I guarantee this setup is going to absolutely reshape this whole thing. But let's get into it, Lucas. I want to start – I mean, we have to start with the unofficial, still defending champs, the Boston Junior Bruins. I mean, there was no postseason champ crown. No one lifted the name last year. So the Boston Junior Bruins still hold that cup. We got to start there. Mike Anderson was in pure summer mode, man, when we saw him out at the summer showcase. He was in the door, out the door. We couldn't catch him. I couldn't find him. He was rocking the baseball cap, had it going. He's working hard with a really speedy and young team, but he brings back some big-time returners to wear that C on the chest. Talk about the Junior Bruins. I mean, obviously, Lucas, the hockey factory is going to be at it again this year.
Well, absolutely. I mean, and one of the things you talk about is a speedy team. I think Mike Anderson might have been joining in on those speed drills because he bolted off that bench straight past the two of us, out the door, in the car, back to the golf course that he came from that morning to coach a couple of hockey games. But this team, year after year, it's not really a question of if. It's a question of how soon into the season, right? How soon into the season will they find their end-of-season form? Will they run into struggles in the beginning? Well, then you're going to see a little bit of a bulk up in November, and you'll see them sort of reach out to their premier squad, reach out to some contacts, grab some more guys. This is a hockey factory in the best sense of the word factory. It is a well-oiled, streamlined machine. You have all of the coaches in place, all the development programs in place. You have the Boston Junior Bruins who are adding some younger divisions, adding the 12, the 10, the 8U, adding a young women's hockey program, adding all of these different facets to their game. So this is absolutely an organization that's built from the ground up. I wouldn't be surprised if they start to look a little bit faster. We know that they're systems based. We know that they like to run all 5 guys, get them in the zone. We know that they've had, their speed guys before. They've had their Johnny Hockeys. They've had these guys that can get up and down the ice. But if you're going to talk about a Boston Junior Bruins team with speed and goaltending, you run into a huge issue because even if you can break through potentially a neutral zone battle or even some high pressure, you still have to get past the legendary Boston Junior Bruins goaltenders.
Yeah, and you look at it, the masters behind this program and Mike Anderson behind the bench, this Junior Bruins team and this Junior Bruins organization, I mean, you want to talk about a place to go play where you're going to get seen by the best of the best, by the biggest scouts in the game, by the biggest names, the biggest coaches. I mean, this is just a place to go. And it's a system that it teaches you to be malleable and to be able to play anywhere. If you play in the master system, whether it's in the 16U, 18U, 15U, working your way through, or you get to this NCDC level with Mike Anderson behind the bench, I mean, you're learning to play the game the right way. And all these guys are coachable, as you say. As a coach, when you look at it as a scout, you see these guys come through and this guy's going to be ready for anything I throw at him. Anything I need him to be, he's going to be. And I can't wait to see it, man. Incredible work being done by the Junior Bruins. I guarantee they're going to be a wagon again. They're going to be difficult to deal with. They're going to be big time. Talk about a team, though, who's tired of being a Cinderella story next, Lucas. This is a team, quote, Coach Bill Flanagan, we're tired of being the Cinderella story. We want to be a winner in this league year in and year out, and they have been a winner in this league. Last year, they looked like a team that could have won a cup. The year before, they upset the top-seeded Hitmen on the road, almost took it to the Junior Bruins, who wound up lifting the cup. An amazing look from them. Bill Flanagan has been trending up and up and up and up, and this seems to be the year, Lucas, where he may make some big-time waves.
Yeah, and you understand that. You understand that frustration. You don't want to be the comeback kid every single year because you're taking the hard road in, right? You're missing out on potential bye situations in the playoffs. You're missing out on some favorable schedules, and it's a grind when you're the come from behind team. You ended up playing 3 games a series. You have to play physically. You're getting into these situations. I think that Bill Flanagan is motivated. I think one of the things that we saw, we always tend to see with coaches who put out those kinds of statements. We saw it with the Metro Jets last year, the Southern Showcase. When I asked them about, how do you take the loss last year and work it into this year, they said, we don't care about last year. This year is this year. And the Metro Jets went on to absolutely dominate. So when you see these line in the sand type statements from head coaches and coaching staffs, that motivates the boys. That gets them going.
Yeah, and you look at it, they're going to have a chance to put their stamp on this season real early and make a statement. Sunday, September 27th, 1 Eastern, their home rink. They're playing game 2 of the season against this Junior Bruins team that we just talked about with Coach Mike Anderson behind the bench. You want to make a statement, you got to go out there and you got to play a big game early. We always talk about the 4 quarter poles of a junior hockey season. And yes, by quarter pole number 4, when we're hitting the postseason, a lot of times that's when your teams come to its full fruition. That's when you know exactly what you have. And when you hit that 3rd quarter pole at January 1, moving into the new year, you tend to have a different look to it. You've perfected some things. You've moved some guys around. Maybe some guys have gone off to college. And you look at it, though, that start to the season still sets a tone. And organizations that get that, the Islanders Hockey Club in their past successful seasons, the Jersey Hitmen, the Junior Bruins, those organizations year in and year out are not Cinderella stories because they win game 1 and they win game 50. They win every single game. They dominate all year long. And this is what Coach Bill Flanagan wants to instill into his side. It's time to not wait around. It's time to not hang around. It's time to be the leader of the pack and get out and set the pace and not just run to what everyone else has.
Absolutely. And I have a sneaky suspicion we'll get to see the composition of this Northern Cyclones team as they get thrown into the grinder playing BJB.
And you move to the South Shore Kings now. This is a team that's going to already be upset. I think we might have given them some bulletin board material already. I say we because I like to lump you in when I make a mistake. But I call out that Junior Bruins game as a statement chance for the Northern Cyclones. Well, how about that South Shore Kings team who plays them the day before at the Cyclones Arena, September 26th? They have a chance to take on the Cyclones in their opener. I mean, this is South Shore Kings team, Lucas, that last year had flashes of it. The year before had flashes of it. It's an organization that's synonymous with winning. They've got NHL lineage throughout. This is an organization that, Ryan Whitney still talks about playing at the younger level on Spit and Chicklets and winning a cup, man. This is a team and an organization that is win, win, win. And this year they look to get back to that.
Yeah, and as you said, the flashes have been there, right? You've seen the games, you've seen the stretches over the last 2 years where they've been able to put together some really impressive looks, and they've graduated a lot of really, really good players to Division III, II, and I hockey all the way up and down the board. They've had some great speed skaters. They've had some great physicality, gone through a couple of changes in the last 2 years, and that can be tough on any organization, especially one as deep and that has the depth of the South Shore Kings. But I think that 3rd year, it's that once you see flashes for 2 years, you tend to see those flashes coalesce into a bit of a brighter spotlight. And I think the spotlight is on them for that reason. They have a chance to be really competitive here. And I'm interested to see what the makeup of this team is going to be. Because one thing South Shore may have struggled with is not quite having that identity to hang your hat on, So it'll be interesting to see if they do go with a physical team, a speed skating team, or if they go with that classic IAC mentality of that complete 200-foot middle-of-the-road style team.
And with that, you bring up IHC. Let's move over to the Islanders Hockey Club here, Lucas. This is an Islanders Hockey Club team They kick off their season Thursday, September 24th at Tri-Town Ice Arena against the Junior Bruins. And this is going to be, we talk about rivalries. This is going to be one of the biggest rivalries up here in this North Division now that you've built it, now that you're going to see each other more often. This Islanders Hockey Club team, when this NCDC launched, they were the guys, and they were young last season. Coach K put together a fast team, a team no one wanted to deal with on the ice. By the time they got to the postseason, they looked like they could have made a run for a cup as well. There were a lot of teams that had a chance at that cup. This year, they look to be faster. They look to be even more skilled, and they look to get out of the gates right away. And Lucas, this Islanders Hockey Club team, they don't accept down years. They do not. The amount of times, how many times have we heard, we lost a lot of guys to the next level. We've moved them up. We've done our jobs. We'll see how it goes. The next thing you know, it's win, 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 win. I'm expecting a lot of W's at IHC this season.
Yeah, and everything they do is always based around recruiting, because every year we do hear the same story. Well, I don't really know what we're going to look like this year. We lost a lot of guys, yada, yada, yada. I said it last week. Don't believe a word they say. I'm going to repeat it again this week. Don't believe them, because every single year comes down to recruiting. And that's what Coach Kirkostas had to say this year. He gave a lot of credit to assistant coach Mike Busconi about the excellent recruiting job that he was able to do this season, saying that we have a lot of great defensemen, talking about IHC and so many great players that it's tough to figure out what that roster might even look like in November and December. I think one of the biggest things that they're able to see are the players who are returning. Johan Rosenquist with a rookie season last year. You have Kyle Lightfoot, who scored 21 points in 26 games. And then I think the biggest thing, Dan, is the goaltenders, because IHC always seems to have 2 or 3 goaltenders in the mix who could carry you home. What do we always say? You need at least 2 starting goaltenders that can start on any given day to make a playoff run in the USPHL. It goes for NCDC, Premier, and the Elite Division. So right now what they've got is they've got an 0-2 in Ryan Nocerino, coming out of Connecticut's Elite Hockey Academy, competing with time against a Swiss import, Darian Wrench, and, of course, Jake Perrin, one of the premier goalies from last year, now getting his shot at the NCDC level.
And you're going to love to see that. That's going to be – Perrin's going to be looking. He thinks this is my net. You're going to have a good little triumvirate there and a battle for that starting netminder position, and that's what you want between the pipes. You don't want it to be an easy run there. You saw a guy like Callie Anderson last year face a lot of shots. You talk about the additions at defense for this Islanders Hockey Club team. You see a little bit of a hole. You see a void. You build on it, and that's what they've done. This is going to be a great Islanders Hockey Club team this year, and they're going to be a team no one wants to deal with. But speaking of teams no one wants to deal with, let's go to the New Hampshire Junior Monarchs and Coach Ryan Frew's team out there with Coach DeLessio behind the bench with them. New Hampshire Junior Monarchs, man, since they got going in this league, they have just built on it every year. Last season, Coach was not happy with the way they had to work to get into the postseason. They were a little bit worried there at the end. I think he's going to want to get out of the gates fast.
Yeah, I think he's going to want to prove to everybody that, last season, can you even call making the playoffs a fluke season? Is that even something that you feel comfortable doing?
No, not at all. And, you look at it, they're going to start the season against the next team we're going to talk about, the Twin City Thunder, in what we've deemed the buddy battle. It's the Dan K Show buddy battle. We're buddies with the New Hampshire Junior Monarchs. They give us a lot of free syrup. I'm going to be honest with you, all right? We're part of the Mug Club up there. We got a lot of free syrup. We rode the bull the one day. We've been out there. We've tailgated with the parents. You go to Twin City, we're friends with everybody. Mr. Gray, Mr. Hodge up there, Bill David helping us out with everything, taking us around town. Bare Bones Brewery up there. We've had a lot of fun up in Twin City, too. It's the buddy battle, man, and I don't know who we're going to pick. We're going to have to each take one side so we don't make anybody mad at us.
We might have to, and I think we might let the season play out to see how that one goes. But this New Hampshire Monarchs team, they just find it. Every single year it seems like they have a different makeup of the team. They do such a good job recruiting. They have scouts almost everywhere. They have eyes, it seems like, in every rink all the time. They managed to pull together a team of such a diverse background of hockey talent that, it is a little bit of a mix and match. And the one thing that you always notice about New Hampshire is that the leaders will sort of show themselves, right? That team comes together naturally around a few guys every year, and those guys are the driving force behind that team. Now, do I like to think that their playoff run's driving force this year might have been forcing me to shave into a handlebar mustache and sideburns? Maybe. Yes. Am I going to be stupid enough to make that bet this year again? Probably. But I'm excited to see what the Monarchs are going to be able to bring to the table.
Love it. Let's go to the other side of this battle, Twin City. Dan Hodge gets behind a bench. This guy made a career out of being a gritty defenseman who got the job done. Everywhere he went throughout the country, he was a leader. He was somebody his teammates leaned on. This is a guy who gets it, who's been there, and he is really, really looking to get a team that fits his mentality, fits his playing style, fits the way he sees the game. And I think this Twin City Thunder team is going to get out of the gates real fast with a lot of skill.
Yeah, this is a team that, had a disappointing end to last season, just fell out of the playoffs a little bit. They're looking to get back into it. They're looking to sort of reverse course here and come back even stronger in season 2. Coach Hodge says from day one, it's a competition. Nothing is given, everything is earned. And I think that's that mentality. That's that thing you throw up on the top of the locker room and all the guys kind of see it as they walk out the door. And this is a team that's going to be leaning heavily on their 2000s, on their older guys. I mean, it makes us feel old saying that 2000s are the old guys here, Dan, because we are certainly not 2000s. But I
threw out my back listening to that.
If anybody tried to lean on us, we would collapse immediately. Please don't lean on the 91s.
It's hurting. My back actually does hurt right now, Lucas. I didn't put my emotional support pillow back there. But we talk about the Twin City Thunder, and one of the big things that I know that they're going to focus on this year, blocking shots, getting in the way, getting in passing lanes, getting the stick on the ice, man, making big-time plays on the defensive end. It's a 5-man game there, and it's a big thing we talked to Coach Hodge about is the idea that when you're playing defense and everybody's locked in on the defensive end of the ice, it's 6-on-5. You're at the advantage. You got the extra man. If you do it right, you shouldn't give up many goals. And they really want to limit those shots that their netminder is going to see. They want it to be a team game on the defensive end, and then you break out on the outlet and you make the big-time pass. You connect. It's going to take 2 passes to make that move, get the opening, score the goal, plant it in the net. Plant yourself in the offensive zone. Get pucks deep. Get after it. This Twin City Thunder style is going to be a little different this year, and I'm excited to see just how it plays out. Every time you get that coaching change, it really throws guys off. And we close out this discussion about the NCDC North Division with the newcomers. You want to talk about really nobody knowing what's going to happen, what it's going to look like. You got the newcomers here, the fresh guys, the freshmen, the Boston Advantage, and they're going to have to take advantage of having that new look. Lucas, we got a chance to see them take on the Boston Junior Bruins in the summer showcase up in New Hampshire. Fast is an understatement. There was a lot of really good skaters on this squad.
Well, Dan, I don't know what might be harder, breaking into Fort Knox or finding out information about the Boston Advantage team this year, because we are going into this thing about as blind as we've ever talked about a team, with the exception of what we saw with our own 2 eyes. And what we saw was a big team, a fast team, a scary team. This team, in some situations, looked like a team of 30-year-old men out there skating around. They've got the maturity. They knew when to go fight hard to the boards, and they knew when to dump and get a line change and get fresh skates on the ice. They knew when to press a 2-on-1 advantage, and then they knew when the forwards shouldn't overextend themselves and they should come back and sort of give up the possession. This is a team that, from the looks of it, is going to be extremely disciplined. And how do you beat a disciplined team? Well, you have to sort of beat them at their own game, because a disciplined team is not going to make these mistakes. They're not going to give up the power play opportunities. They're not going to give up these turnovers in center ice. So you have to come and you have to play fundamentally sound hockey. The passes have to be crisp. The plays have to be intelligent. And the biggest thing on the flip side that teams have to do when they're playing a disciplined team, Dan, is they cannot have mental lapses. Yeah. Every once in a while you see a team, they get into minute 43 of a game, minute 44, they've been on a couple of penalty kills. They haven't had a good power play opportunity. And you see a mental lapse, a bad bounce, and all of a sudden 1 goal, 2 goals goes in the net and the game's over. You absolutely will not get away with that with the Boston Advantage from what we've seen this year.
Yeah, and this Boston Advantage team, man, the big thing is this organization does such a great job developing talent. And they've done it at the younger levels, and they've done it throughout. And now they're going to try to do it at this junior level here in the NCDC. And I am seeing nothing but success for this organization. I think they do it right. The NCDC, the USPHL does such a great job of picking partners and bringing in organizations that make the product better, right? That take it to the next level. And you know, you look at what the group that leads this league does, and you see the founders of this league that do such a great job of really pinpointing the best talent creators and the organizations that are doing this for the right reasons in the right ways. And the Boston Advantage are doing just that. I'm so excited to watch them take the ice. I could talk NCDC all day, but we got to take a break. We got to jump over. Quick discussion about the Mountain Division, and we'll let you know why you should go back and listen to an audio podcast that just dropped.
You are watching The Dan K Show. Everything USPHL. From the NCDC to the Premier and Elite Leagues. The Dan K Show with Dan K and Lucas Jones.
Welcome back, hockey fans. We're running out of time because we talk so much NCDC. So we're going to do our Mountain Division talk in a new segment we're going to introduce in 1 second. But before that, I remind you that the Dan K Show are proud partners of Elite Junior Profiles. That's EliteJRProfiles.com. Go there, make your profile, find out how to be seen by the most scouts, the most coaches, and the most people throughout the game of hockey. It's not just for hockey players either. For those of you at home, those parents, with players from all throughout the sporting game and the high school, collegiate level, go to EliteJuniorProfiles.com. That's EliteJRProfiles.com to take your recruiting experience to the next level. Great people over there and a great person on the other end of this show right now going to be put into a difficult situation. We're introducing a new segment this year, folks. Every game you go to, you find out about that final minute of play in the first period. When you ask how much time is left and there's 1 minute remaining, well, Lucas always has to listen to me have the final words at the end of each show. So I figured what better way to give Lucas his chance to give quote-unquote parting words without having to actually give parting words and to give him the final minute of each show. I'm stalling so Lucas can get his head together to get this going. So you will hear the final minute of play, and Lucas will take it away and discuss the Mountain Division before we head to the empty net. Lucas, take it away with the final minute of play.
We start off with the Northern Colorado Eagles. The Eagles are looking to pick up where they left off. Head coach Steve Haddon said they're looking to make their debut in a new league, but new beginnings does not mean a new style of play. Northern Colorado looking to bring that success into the USPHL. Someone else looking to bring their success to the USPHL, the Ogden Mustangs, their 10th season of junior hockey. Head coach and 80s villain Kenny Orlando said playing in a new division will be electric for the fans. It'll be electric for us as well. The Provo Riverblades, guests on this week's audio podcast, link in the description, are its inaugural season out of the Peaks Arena, former Olympic venue. Head coach Mike Callan, if you want to find out more about him, go listen to that audio podcast. The Pueblo Bulls, coming out of Pueblo, Colorado. This team is very excited, announcing some fans are going to be in the building this year. That's always a good news. 10 returning players. That's a veteran core that's going to lead this team into the USPHL. Finally, the Utah Outliers celebrating their 5th anniversary and their first season in the USPHL with head coach Kevin McCloskey. This team also tries to continue their winning tradition of the USPHL, Dan. All of these teams are combining for one heck of a Mountain Division this season.
Time. That was incredible, Lucas. Great work on that one. That's going to be a fun segment each week, and it is going to be a fun division out there on the mountain. There's going to be a lot of great hockey to be seen. Remember, like Lucas just said, our audio podcast this week, we had Mike Callan, head coach of the Provo Riverblades, and we had a lot of fun talking with him. So make sure to watch that audio podcast and go back and watch all of them, Spotify, iTunes, wherever you see them. Let's get over to the empty net. We have to talk to some of you folks at home who talked to us this week. Welcome to the empty net. Welcome to the empty net, our favorite portion of every week's show, where we talk to you, the fan, the player, the coach, whoever, the organization. We start, Lucas, with an old friend who's back at it right away to start the season, and it's Uncle
Good
Turk
luck.
at Uncle_Turk. I'm going to keep it easy and stay with the handle. I'm always trying to correctly pronounce names. He's back, boys. He said, let's do a preseason episode with your picks on who will win each division. Guess what? We're going to cheat a little bit and do it next Thursday. So tune in. Our premier picks in each division next week. I think I might throw in my elite as well if Lucas is ready for it. I want to see a little bit of hockey first. We're not going to see everybody, but let's get a little closer.
Mm-hmm.
But Uncle Turk's got the Eels winning the Florida Division. The Rush in the Southeast must have listened to Dan K. The Philadelphia Hockey Club in the Mid-Atlantic. The Junior Bruins in the Northeast. The Metro Jets in the Great Lakes. Junior Bruins would be a big upset there. That'd be a big season for them. We did bring up. We think they're going to have a good year. The Blaze in the Midwest East. The Moose in the Midwest West. Antlers up. The Northern Colorado Eagles in the Mountain. And the San Diego Sabres in the Pacific. Those are some interesting picks there, and I differ on a lot of fronts there. I'm going to say that right now, so we'll have to tune in next week.
I think it'd be interesting to have a little friendly competition. If one of us can beat Uncle Turk, I feel like we should. I feel like if neither of us beat him, if he beats us in terms of these straight up predictions, I feel like you might have to have him on the show at that point.
Or maybe we just go out and do a Moose game at that point. Maybe that's the way we pay it off. We'll go out there. We'll drive out to Minnesota. We'll do a Moose game. Antlers up. Let's get it done. Also going on out there, Lucas, I just remembered at one point Josh Boyd at the league office needed us to pick up a trophy, and it turns out it's still safe at home in Richmond with the Richmond Generals. The USPHL Elite Championship trophy made its appearance on the Twitter page of the Richmond Generals. And, you know, the Richmond Generals, Hampton Roads Whalers, both still defending champs in the Premier and Elite right now, and they're touting it right now on those social media pages. Do you think that's grinding the gears of the Rush and really driving them to get ready for this season?
Oh, absolutely. And the best kind of correct is technically correct, Dan. And if technically no one unseated them as champions, then technically they're still the champion.
That does work that way. You can also check out the Florida Division Premier Preview written by Josh Boyd in the league office. That can be found there on USPHL.com. A great write-up there. Also, congrats to Joey Wolt, an 03 defenseman who just signed up with the Minnesota Moose. Antlers up for him. The Charlotte Rush, I close out with Ryan Crothers talking again about just how dominant they were in their scrimmages to get ready for this season, beating the Charleston Colonials and the Carolina Junior Canes. This Rush team, I'm going to continue to sing their praises until they possibly prove me wrong, or maybe they just won't. But this Southeast Division, man, it's going to be up for grabs this season. It's going to be so much fun. And with that, we've had so much fun. Lucas, your parting words. Nice cup. That's a cool cup. My parting words for you this week, keep watching, stay safe. I see a lot of pictures out there of teams getting ready, meetings, conversations. I just remind all of our players, wear that mask when you can, when you're close to each other, when you're sitting around, when you're out there in public. Keep yourself safe. Keep yourself going. We want to all be healthy, play this season. You know, you see how well the NHL's done with it. You see all those players, Lucas. They've made it through. They've survived this thing, and it's been such an incredible job done by the league office there to get that one done. And we're doing the same here. Stay safe, stay healthy, and let's go, baby. It's hockey time. Let's go. You can't tell me you're watching the show when you're not excited. You're not stoked. When Dan K's on a mic, it's always hockey night. We will be coming to a rink near you very soon, hockey fans.
There we go.
There you go. Great job. We did it. It's hockey time. Starts this weekend.
No more warm-ups. No more skating around.
We should have tried to get the Florida trip in this year in September. Should have done a Florida September trip. If anybody's watching this and has a game Saturday or Sunday, call us. We will come down to you. www.dankshow.com/send us to Florida.
That's not a real website. I mean, I guess it could be.
I think, yeah, that's not a real website.